Hey, welcome to my podcast. My name is Zachariah Sean M. Sabida. My friends call me Sean. I am 18 and I am currently taking up general academics in senior high school. I study in Corpus Christi School here in Cagayan de Oro City. Woo, yeah. Also, I am in grade 12 and I'm really excited for doing this podcast with you guys. It's actually my very first time and I hope you can bear with me if I have many errors or some. Before I start my podcast, you might be wondering why you can hear people walking, talking, and vehicles like around my recording. Is that because I decided to make a podcast while walking around the city? After this podcast, if you like this, give this one a thumbs up. I don't know. Okay. So this podcast is about my review about the movie Ready Player One. Ready Player One was released summer this year and it was directed by Steven Spielberg. Let me give you a short description about the movie Ready Player One. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you better watch the movie first before listening to this review because there are a lot of spoilers. Yeah, the Ready Player One is about a young boy and a gamer, a futuristic setting, like where people depends their lives on one game, and that game is an online game. It is a multiplayer online role-playing game, or which you know as MMORPG. Also, in that game, that online game is popular by its name Oasis. So Oasis was created for a specific purpose, which is to unite the people. I want to discuss my personal review on technical and narrative aspect of the movie. Let me talk about its graphics. The graphics of the movie is voila, excellent. I mean, in terms of its animation, choice of color, texture, and the intensity of the color, it blew me away, especially when the changing of perspective from the animated one to the real life. It just it synced how they work together and how they are produced together. Also, the graphics of gaming, the Oasis. It is really true to life because games nowadays have the same standard of that game Oasis, if you know what I mean. Games today like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Defense of the Ancients 2, like the GTA 5, the Sims 4. The graphics are very complicated and delicate, you know what I mean. My second point of my review for the movie is the sound distribution. If you know the elements of the sound, like the sound effects, the music, the dialogue, it is normal for a movie. Now the sound of the movie is a very typical, like any other movies that we have seen. It is standardized also for the elements of sound. We have the sound effects. I think the sound effects was great. I have no problems about that. Second is sound. Is the music. If we can observe, the movie is very futuristic, like it's very modern time, yet they use music from 90s or 70s. I don't know if you heard that song, which makes it awesome or makes it cool, Other movies that I observe, like a very modern time movie, modern setting movie based, but they use a music from like classic music from 70s is Guardians of the Galaxies. Okay, the next element of sound is dialogue. Dialogue means is the speech of every character that is present in the movie. I have concerns about, I admit it, I have negative opinions about the dialogue of the movie, which I will discuss later of this podcast. My next point for this review of the movie is the plot. Now, I do have concerns about the plot of the movie since I am very particular of the series of events that construct the movie as a whole. Honestly, in my very own opinion, the plot of the movie is kinda, should I say, like corny. Like it doesn't match, especially in the last part of the movie, since it actually doesn't match on its professional level, should I say, professional level of making the graphics. If in other words, what I meant about what I said, like the movie being corny, is that the plot is somewhat like the movie is like intended for children below 13, if you know what I mean. Like the graphics are very awesome, like everyone can relate, teenage above 20 can relate, but the plot drags the movie down, making it a PG-13 movie. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. My next point is the one I said earlier, the dialogue of the movie. Okay, let me explain what the dialogue is. Dialogue is the speech of every character that is present in the movie. Okay, let me talk about the dialogue. It also concerns me because since the movie has a presence of the company, okay, for the dialogue, since the movie it actually portrays like a life of a young one, I think it is acceptable to use a dialogue that is simple and informal. But what concerns me a lot is though I forgot the name of the character, the one who is head of the company IOI. It concerns me a lot because if you already watched it, like the head of the company is like, should I say, funny, and it doesn't match his role and his personality. Of course, in my own opinion, I don't know if you agree, like we want a villain that is badass, that is scary, someone who is monstrous in nature, right? Although the animated version of that boss got it all. If he transforms, I know, not transforms, like if he goes to his character in the Oasis, actually I actually like that one than the boss, the real boss of IOI. To conclude my podcast about my review about the Ready Player One, I just wanted to rate the movie 7 out of 10. If you wonder why, what's with the 3 that makes 10? First is the plot. I don't know, guys, if you have watched it, the plot actually disappointed me a lot. Next is the dialogue. Dialogue of the movie is too informal and too simple for the people who has the same age like mine. And lastly is the one that disappointed me the most, is the villain of the company IOI. As actually it doesn't really match his personality and the role. Okay guys, that's it for my podcast. If you like my review for the movie Ready Player One, give it a thumbs up. If you like my podcast, if you like the way I talk in this podcast, give it also a thumbs up, because it's my first time to talk with myself. I don't know. Also, give it a thumbs up if you already seen the Ready Player One. And lastly, if you agree to my review about my points of the movie, give it also a thumbs up. So, yeah, that's it.